The luxury compact SUV market is getting more and more crowded. Genesis started its life in 2003 with a concept vehicle. It was until around 4 years later the South Korean market introduced its lineup. In 2013, the second generation was revealed, and 2 years later, several designers from Lamborghini, Audi, BMW brings the new styling of Genesis. Today, Robert and Sean has given us the 2022 Genesis GV70 in a uni white here at Genesis of Newport Richey. The mix of performance and luxury 2-engine options. You got a lot of competition. So your BMW X3, your Audi Q5, your Mercedes-Benz GLE 350, even the Lexus RX 350. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and we're going to go over all the specs and details starting now. GV70 has a distinct body lines throughout the fascia and proportion layouts for aerodynamic styling cues, and the signature quad LED headlamps that sets the appearance of this vehicle, in the unmistakable aggressive crescent grille. They're going to have a balance between that luxury and performance all blended in, which is what I like. On that grille, you're going to notice around it, it's more of a gloss chrome with the honeycomb interior, and I like that it has an offset, the sculpted styling cues. They're going to put matte black on the lower trim with the chrome surrounding the lower lip, and then you got the honeycomb on the side, functional air curtains, a width at 75 inches, a height at 64.2 inches. The setup is still very aggressive, sporty, luxury blend. You're going to have plenty of clearance, even though you got a lot going on here, at 7.3 inches. If you're comparing it to the refreshed BMW X3 or that Mercedes-Benz or Audi, I like the styling cues to this because all of the other brands are kind of going the same direction with their cues, and Genesis seems to give you a little bit more round and a more pleasurable, sporty essence with a luxury twist. The hood lines, very strong aerodynamics. It's going to flare out that hood. The quad lights are going to wrap around over these upgraded 19-inch multi-spoke wheels. The disc reading behind it at 13.6 ventilated, 14.2 in the rear ventilated. Standard would be an 18-inch wheel. Independent strut front suspension and multi-link rear suspension. Both the front and the rear will have your coil springs, shock absorbers, and your stabilizer bar. Only all-wheel drive available, but it can send 100% torque to the rear. If you're comparing it to the Lexus RX 350, you can only do 85%. Electronically controlled limited slip differential. They do offer a launch control. The length at 185.6 inches, a wheelbase at 113.2 inches. The luxury compact SUV that gives you even more styling and safety. The best part about it, it is the only vehicle in class with blind spot monitoring, which we have today. As your blind spot, your lane keep assist, and your safe exit. The design styling is going to be sporty and yet classy. So you're going to get that gloss chrome on the lower trim. You're going to get it over all the window treatment, and on the rear they do a nice signature, which really gives a nice dimension to the vehicle, because again, you're trying to set a different appearance when you're comparing it to BMW, Audi, Lexus, Mercedes. You want to stand out from the crowd. Genesis is doing it. You're going to have the quad LED tail lamps. They're going to wrap around. The whole back is going to be nice and round to just give that sporty heritage yet again. You're going to have a lower lip spoiler with the gloss black over it. So I do like how they're paying attention to detail. Opening the trunk is right underneath that windshield wiper. Genesis badging in between these lights sets its appearance. You're going to get the grille design on the lower bumper around these dual exhausts, chrome trim housing the lower bumper trim, matte black to finish on the fender lip molding. Rear cross traffic alert, park distant warning, surround view monitoring, towing up to 3,500 pounds, power cargo going inside to 28.9 cubic feet, which is more than BMW and Lexus. You're going to have a 12-volt charger, some storage underneath the floor with a spare tire. The rear bench split folds at a 60-40 split, maxing the cargo to 56.9 cubic feet. That's going to be more cargo than Mercedes and Audi. But you know, it is a turbocharged engine. Let's hear that exhaust note. The design team has went to work for Genesis, bringing a blend of luxury and performance styling cues to the exterior, and Genesis backs the performance with a turbocharged 2.5-liter 4-cylinder producing 300 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque that's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, achieving 22 to 28 mpgs, a 0 to 60 at 5.6 seconds, which is faster than the BMW X3, the Audi Q5, your Mercedes-Benz GLE 350, and that Lexus RX 350. A quarter mile on the V6 trim will be at 13.5 seconds, which that one would be more comparable to your X3 M40i and your Audi SQ5, your Mercedes AMG GLE 43. But the styling cues that you get with the standard engine really keeps that performance heritage with all the luxury blend. I like what we're going with Genesis. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 Genesis GV70 as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Genesis GV70, you're going to get 39.6 inches of headroom, 39.1 inches of legroom, black leather bucket front seats, with contrast stitching, piping, heated, ventilated, 12-way power adjustment for the front seats, memory for the driver. First of the kind finger recognition to start the car, which is right here underneath more or less your start button, which is super cool and luxurious. It just shows you how innovative the brand is going. It's going to be wrapped with a dark gloss all around it. Dual climate control. You're going to have a touch sensitive screen as well. You got some button functionalities which will help you with that large wide screen that's out of the GV80, 14.5 inches HD touchscreen, navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. So we have the pinch, we have the swipe, click into the home so you can see all the apps, which we have a lot of them. AM, FM, XM, HD radio, voice recognition, Bluetooth connectivities. You have your sound by nature. You have different seat settings here. You can do your climate control as well. Switch it into reverse. This is the nice thing. You got the full trajectory. And when you put it into drive, you also have the full trajectory, which you also have a 3D version as well that you can go all around the vehicle, which is super cool. I do like that functionality. Or you could just change the settings of your reverse camera so that way you could just see the back. You could change it for the front. You can change it for the tow lineup. So it does make it easy in that attribute. And I like the fact that you're getting all that safety as well. A wave line back lit trim. The reason why I say it's slow is because the design is very luxurious, yet again an upscale with the metal look that's going to be on the door panels for your tweeter. This does have the upgraded Lexicon Premium 16 speakers with a wireless charging pad right here. Cup holders easily fit a 16.9 ounce water bottle. I'd say a 20 ounce is max. The dashboard is going to be more simple on the top, but more retro as it goes. So I do like that setup. Elbows, nice and soft. In the center console, you're gonna have a couple of knobs. I do wish that putting it into the gear would be on the top for your infotainment to be on the bottom. Leather wrap steering wheel, multi-function with the paddle shifters, 8.5-inch digital readout. When you change the modes, it changes your tachometer, the way the look is, and it makes it look a little bit cooler, especially when you put it into sport mode. You have your driver mode select, which you can go through your snow, eco, comfort, sport, and custom. Open up inside here, you got some more storage and a 12-volt. USB-A and a USB-C is going to be for the front door panel. You're going to get a nice leatherette with that contrast stitching, one touch up and down for all the windows. The front windows are dual pane. Storage is going to be a little tight. You could maybe fit 2 or 3 16.9 ounce water bottles, but at the end of the day, it's a compact luxury slash sport SUV, panoramic moonroof that takes us all the way to that back seat. Let's see how I look back there. For the back seats, I'm at 41.3 inches of headroom, 37.2 inches of legroom. I do sit pretty comfortable. There is storage behind the back of the front seats. In the position I'd be sitting, you could fit 2 adults so far. Center air vents, 2 USB ports, and a home plug. The floor is not completely flat. The nice thing though is these are reclinable seats. They recline pretty good, but the bolstering kind of pushes you out, so then my legs would be touching the back of the front seats. Elbows are going to be soft here and kind of pushes your elbows out the way the door panel layout is. Cup holders, you can fit 16.9 ounce water bottle. I'd say a 20 ounce max. You have your manual sunshades in the rear. You have harder materials on the top. You got that silver that outlines the door panel with the Lexicon tweeter, contrast stitching, one touch up and down, and you have that wave trim in the back. Storage, I would say you can fit about 2 to 3 16.9 ounce water bottles, so it's pretty efficient for the size of the vehicle. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center, headroom, no issue. Legroom, I'm grazing the back of the front seats in the position I'd be sitting. You can adjust the passenger side by moving it up and back, and also the back of it, so that way it can make it a little bit more pleasurable. If you have kids, they're gonna probably be playing with it. You will be sharing a substantial amount of real estate with 2 occupants next to you if you're 6'3" like me, because of the floor not being flat and the seats are not that wide, but it does have enough room to fit 3 of me if need be. But the way the back seats are designed, you feel very sporty. The attributes that they outline with the lines that start from the front and go all the way around, wrapping the cabin, it just gives you that luxury slash performance styling cues even in the interior. Taking the 2022 Genesis GV70 out for our test run. The nice thing about this vehicle is you're getting all of those luxury amenities with the sport designing, like I was saying, on the exterior, and even on the interior, they increase that further. As for the ride comfort, going over any terrain that's going to be like speed bumps or anything like that, at a low speed, you're going to feel a little bit of it because it is still a sporty design vehicle. However, if you're going at faster speeds, it's going to soak it up pretty good. And I do like when you put your indicator on that you can see that camera on the side, so it helps with your blind spot monitoring, and it also gives you a visual look as well. The best part, turbocharged, so you give it a little gas and sets you back really good. I mean, really nicely. Gives a little smile to your face too, because it's performance and luxury blend with all the safety capacity all mixed in. So they did a great job just housing this and crafting it in such a way that it can compete with BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Lexus, pretty much any luxury brand, and it brings itself to the table at a higher standard. I'm gonna stop in the middle of the road here. We're going to change it to sport mode, give it some gas, and here we are. It's ready to rock and roll. You do hear the 4-cylinder engine. Braking, not an issue. And everything about the way it moves and transitions stays comfortable. You stay relatively planted. It's still a sporty slash luxury SUV, so it's not gonna be so dynamic. So if you go left and right, you're gonna feel boaty, as you can see on the camera. But if you drive it as an everyday vehicle and you're getting up to speeds at highway, it's going to be super quiet. Dual pane windows in the front. The sound deadening is awesome as well. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like I'm in love with the vehicle, but when you compare this to the comparable vehicles, you're getting a discount plus all of that luxury blended in. So I do like the fact that you still have all that capacity, and yet you're not going to break the bank account. We're going to slow down just a little bit so that way you can see the pattern and the way the car does kind of grip itself as well, which is a nice attribute, because again, when you're looking for performance and luxury, you want the best of both worlds. Otherwise, you'd be looking for a different vehicle. And I do think that this is a solid vehicle. And to show you, I mean, you could just wrap around relatively easy, and it does stay pretty planted for the most part. So it is good with that aspect as well. So you do have the performance and you got that luxury blend. They did nail it right on the head. If you are comparing it to the 3.5 liter V6, that one's going to be more powerful than this one. It's going to be a little bit less in the stats if you're comparing it to the M40i X3 or even your AMG GLE 43. But the difference between those also is a significant price bump, and you still get all of these amenities. And I mean, you have a touch recognition to start the vehicle. I mean, how cool is that? Now, there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'd be buying this vehicle. The 3 things that I like, starting off, is obviously the performance. You're getting 300 horsepower. Genesis knows exactly what you need, and they put it underneath the hood of this vehicle. Even though this is not the powerful V6 twin turbo, you still get enough oomph to move you forward. The second thing that I like about it is you're getting all the tech out of the GV80 in this vehicle, which makes it even more attracting, because if you don't want the larger one, you can go to the compact styling. You still get all those essence and all that tech. The last thing I like is the drive. It is super smooth. These seats are very comfortable. The ventilated seats, you can feel them really well. The positioning, you have enough adjustments. And I mean, giving you 12 different power adjustments, that's insane. Usually when you start getting into Mercedes, Audi, BMW, they'll give you 16, but at that point, you're at $80,000 to $90,000. To get 12-way power adjustments, you're gonna still be around $5,000 to $10,000 more than this model. To just drive it normal, it's going to hit that turbo around 2.5 RPM, give or take. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle is on the door panels. When you put your elbows, it kind of pushes you off because it's more rounded. It's not flat surface. So it doesn't make it uncomfortable. It just something to get used to, and it might take a few minutes. The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle is the dash. I like the layout from the interior, just the top perspective. I wish they would have put maybe a leatherette surface instead of just this matte, harder material surface, because we're in the Genesis line, and I think they're doing such a great job with giving you plush materials. They didn't necessarily forget about it. I get that they're doing a modern look, but just throw the leatherette over it because it'll really give that touch of quality. Turn radius from more or less a stop point is gonna get about 2 lanes, and now we're gonna give it some gas to go. And it does what it needs to do. The last thing that I dislike is in the back seat. When you're fitting 3 people, because the bench is a little bit smaller, it's not as wide, and the floor isn't completely flat, you'll have to make some changes to make it easier to fit 3 people my size. But at the end of the day, how many times are you going to have 3 6'3" people in the back? So it is something that can be overlooked. It's just something that I'm nitpicking. But overall, great blend of luxury, quality, and sport. Comparing it to BMW and Audi, I like the BMW X3. The refresh is amazing. This interior, though, is a little bit more playful and a little bit more of a luxury styling cue mixed with the sports styling as well. Comparing it to Audi, I like this one a lot better than the Audi interior wise, because it just feels a little bit more wider too. So it feels a little bit more spacious. Comparing it to Lexus, I like the Lexus. The drive is great, but again, when you're looking for the performance and you're looking for luxury blend, Genesis, the GV70 is the way I would go. I'd like to thank Sean and Robert here at Genesis of Newport Richey for giving us this 2022 Genesis GV70 for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click that subscribe button, check out the details, the merchandise, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rocks.